Hey, this is Dan from Digital Elevator, and I'm going to go over how Restream drives over 400,000 organic visits every month using SEO-driven content marketing. So here we have the Restream homepage, and it's very simple, almost operates like a landing page, which is fairly novel in the SaaS industry. And Restream does multi-streaming, meaning you can publish your video and then stream it out to multiple places at once. So very competitive industry, and we'll break down a little bit more about their traffic. So here we can see that Restream drives an estimated 446,000 organic visits a month, and perhaps what's also very impressive is that they have an estimated traffic value of $116,000 a month, meaning if you were to pay for that organic traffic in paid search ads, you'd spend over $100,000. So that means highly lucrative keywords there, potentially. So if we're going to drill down on this a little bit, we can see the top subfolders of the site, and I can look at this information to see where they derive the bulk of their traffic from. And what we can tell here is that a lot of traffic comes from the blog, subfolder, this blog specifically, and then their integrations page. So the blog itself drives over 250,000 visits. It's about 50% of the site traffic, and the integration page about 9%. But what you can see here is also the keyword value is pretty high, 84,000 and over 18,000 keywords there for the integrations. So let's unpack that a little bit more. As we said, the blog drives a lot of traffic, and if we look at the top pages of the site, and I'm using Ahrefs here to do this analysis. If I look for the top pages of the site using this tool here, I can see that most of the content here in the top 10 are actually blogs. So we have ultimate guides, best of posts, how-tos, so a lot of what you'd expect in terms of top of the funnel, high volume type blog posts is what looks like is their most effective strategy in terms of traffic generation. So kind of run-of-the-mill content marketing stuff, honestly, but still, you don't have to overthink content marketing. That's the takeaway. Tried and true stuff works. So we can see ranks number 1 over here. And for example, streaming platforms, which they rank number 1 for that. And they do it with the blog, which is interesting. And we'll unpack that a little bit more in a second. So concentrating on that keyword specifically, streaming platforms, Ahrefs says it's extremely hard, super hard to rank for, 72 out of 100. And to get on the top page for this, in the top 10, you need 224 backlinks. So extremely competitive type keyword, which is why this is very impressive. So let's actually take a look at that blog post and unpack that a little bit. So you have roundup post, 15 best, so a good amount there. They have the year here, which is popular. Looks like this blog was updated this year as well. They have a nice graphic here. I like it that the content is above the fold, and the blog entrance is above the fold here. I also like that they have a nice table of contents with icons, which I think is pretty unique. Don't see too much of that. And then they dive right into the content. So they're starting here with what is a live streaming platform, which I don't usually love to start with definitions because they're obviously keyword targets. But in the case of this blog, I guess it's okay because of the nature of the topic. Throughout, they have these CTAs, and then they have some good foundational elements, what to consider when choosing a live streaming platform. So what's cool here is right off the bat, best live streaming platforms, they list themselves as number 1. So that's important because a lot of companies will not do that. They won't do blogs that mention their competitors. They're afraid to bring attention to that. But obviously, you'll see that this works really well for them. It's one of the most popular pages on their site, and they're ranking for arguably the most dominant keyword that they could go after. So they're owning the industry in that sense in terms of content marketing and SEO. So they kind of use the same template for each one, which is something to take away for your content marketing. You create the kind of template, features, pros, cons, pricing. They have their own video, so go after it. So they're going to do this 14 more times with their competitors, and then we're just going to come down to the bottom here and take a look at what's going on down here, which is kind of a wrap up. Another CTA, some FAQs that are probably going after long tail keywords, which I liked to do at the bottom. And then they're having some internal links to other content to keep you reading. Another thing that we would probably recommend at Digital Elevator is how to do product recommendations down here, maybe below this, so to kind of keep that push going. So let's take a look at what we said, the subfolder integrations and some of the content here. So what's interesting about this, not as much volume as blogs per se, but if we take a look at this top one that ranks the best here, it's really actually a simple blog post. So what's interesting is they're doing almost like a blog for their integrations content. So it has your Twitch with OBS, so there's your integration, and it's a how-to, which is more of like top funnel content. And this is what's called product-led marketing or content marketing, which means your product fits the bill of what the end user is trying to achieve. So it's a perfect fit of using their software to accomplish the how-to goal, which is awesome. And this is nothing crazy, just a couple bullet points and some imagery, and then a video here. The only thing that maybe I would add is an infographic of how to do this for shareability or something like that if they really wanted to unpack this and help with social sharing, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, etc. So can't really talk about ranking without talking about link building, and it looks like around this time in February 2020 they really started to go aggressively after link building, and you can see the correlation with organic traffic there along with link building. So they've done a really good job. Pretty fundamental blogs they're going after, long form, how-tos, roundup posts, that kind of thing, and then their integrations strategy that actually is fueled by this product-led approach that has how-tos, almost like blogs acting with their integrations. It's a really smart way rather than just having an integration page saying, hey, we integrate with this. So awesome job to the Restream team, SEO and content marketing team. This was done really well.